Welcome back to Prep Recruiting Insider, PRI. I'm your coach and studio host for Prep Recruiting Insider, Rick Gailey, along with our insider, Mr. Renee Nato. And in Renee's travels, he's found a way to find our next guest, Archbishop Shaw and LSU graduate, Elliot Porter. Elliot, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you taking some time out to be with us.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man. This is, a good spot. I hear a lot about you guys and the work y'all do. I'm happy to be here.
We didn't have a show like this when you were at Shaw, but we got one now, man.
Nah, we wasn't as fortunate for that, man. But
you guys, and I know you pretty well, and you were so respected by your teammates at LSU. They used to call you Soldier because you were a tough guy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your path from Shaw. You went to LSU, had a reroute to Kentucky, and came home. Tell us about it.
First of all, it's a blessing to play for, a great high school like Shaw and a great institution in college like LSU. To be honest, I didn't lose too many games playing at both schools. That was a blessing. So, I was happy to, be a part of such tradition, and it helped me, actually in life, to become a great leader and, learn to lead great things, and that's what helped me with. So.
And you had an interesting path to LSU, and a term that came up in my research that we haven't discussed very much, Prep Recruiting Inside, is gray shirt. That's what prompted you to go to Kentucky. You were going to go to LSU in the summer. They tried to they wanted you to be in the next recruiting class and enroll in January instead of September. Talk about how all of that played out, because a gray shirt for some people is the right thing, but it worked out good for you doing it another way.
Right. Dealing with the gray shirt situation, it was hard, especially for a 17, 18-year-old kid, because I was asked from LSU to gray shirt probably right before the season started, probably right during camp time. And, it was hard to make a decision, and it was a rush decision, going to University of Kentucky. It was a great institution, University of Kentucky, but I had to realize it wasn't for me, and I went to 3 or 4 schools and visited those schools, and had to help me make a rush decision. Coach Scott definitely helped me with that decision, and keeping my head on straight, being a 17, 18-year-old young man, I'm not, everything was so pushed at the time, so that's what came upon that decision.
It's a big game this weekend. You've been in a few of them, and you played in the pit as a center, starting center. You came after P.J. Lonergan and before Ethan Posick. I know where your heart is. Why does LSU have an advantage? You have snapped the ball to Zach Mettenberger, Anthony Jennings, and Brandon Harris. Tell a little bit, why does LSU have an advantage, in your opinion, going against Alabama this week?
Of course I'm going to be biased, but in my honest opinion, I feel like this year we're just a better team. That's honest. Alabama's always going to be tough up front, defensive-wise. Playing against those front seven is going to be tough. It's always going to be a grind. It's going to be grind to get those 100 or so yards, that Leonard's been getting, so it's going to be a tough one, and everybody interested to see. Everybody want to sit in front of the TV at 7 o'clock on Saturday evening to see what Leonard Fournette's going to do and what that offensive line is going to do. I'm eager to see it, and Alabama's a great team, and I believe we're a little bit better though this year. Of course, I'm biased.
Well, you should be.
Yeah,
that's why I'm a bad selector of games. They keep asking us in the media to pick after I coached 34 years.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to do it because what I end up doing is deciding what a team has to do to win the game. I don't know if they could do it or not, but that's what they have to do. You got to start your first game in 2012 as a redshirt sophomore, I believe. You had to sit out a year after you came back from Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what it was like, and I know you remember what it was like going out on the field the very first time and starting your first game at LSU.
Oh man, playing in front of 92,000 at the time was, it's different. Being a young guy, being 20 and 19 years old, you really, stepping out on the field for the first time, since high school, especially for me, since I, I redshirted and then I came back and I had to sit out that year. So, it was a different experience. But I loved every bit of it. I loved it getting loud. I loved, the way Tiger stayed and reacted when you scored. Everything was just a memorable feeling for me, you know, especially for the last 3 years. I mean, I can't think of a better feeling than that. You know, coming out during the fireworks, when we're running down the tunnel and stuff like that, oh, man, it's great.
You had a special bond with Trey Turner now with Carolina Panthers. You guys are very, very close. And I remember doing a story, you guys wore similar numbers like the Pouncey brothers.
Yeah.
But a couple of guys there now getting a lot of headlines that you played with. Leonard Fournette and Brandon Harris. Why is Leonard such a special guy, and Brandon Harris has made a complete turnaround since last year? Why do you see that?
Okay, Brandon Harris, you know, all it takes is maturity. I mean, maturity is a big thing, especially with college quarterbacks, college offensive linemen, college defensive linemen. It doesn't matter. Maturity is a big thing. Maturity, I mean, especially being an 18-year-old kid and getting thrown in the Auburn game, I mean, that's not the easiest thing in the world, especially playing in front of 86,000. I mean, it's not easy. A lot of us can do it, you know, and he actually did it. You know, he had his own, and he's getting better and better every game. So maturity is a big thing for Brandon. I could say the same thing for Leonard, too. You know what I'm saying? Maturity. You know, he started understanding the offense better, understanding what cuts to take, what not to take. You know, Coach Frank has definitely helped him, you know, understand the game better, understand what our offensive linemen, you know, what we think. He understands what we think. So, I mean, that's why I get from what Leonard, you know, is done such a leapfrog year, you know. So he had a great freshman year, but you know this year, you know, probably known to be one of the best backs ever in college football. So,
right, I absolutely agree with you about Brandon Harris. That really, you know, I equated it to child abuse when he got put in the game at Auburn as a friend, because different guys take different lengths of time to learn what they have to do, but you can see now that he really has the demeanor of a leader, and they're not giving him more than he can handle as well. I think that the melding of his maturity and the coaching staff, what they're asking him to do, is right on.
Oh man, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing, especially with quarterback. I mean, quarterback and center, you know, you have to always think, and you always have to be on your feet, on top of your game. You have to see things before it happens. Really, you know, how to study more. You have to study a little bit more. I mean, I remember times, me and Menberger, you know, Menberger and I, he basically took me on as a young guy, and like, we have to study film. We have to see what the protections, you know, we have to understand all that, you know, and that's a big part of, you know, being a professional almost, is teaching you at a young age. And you almost have to put the childish things behind you and mature when you're coming in as an 18-year-old quarterback. It's not easy, man. I'm telling you that now.
You came from a very close fraternity. The Bomb Squad is what the offensive line called each other. You had Trey Turner on one side, Vidal on one side, Ethan Postic was in there, Joe Hawkins. That offensive line was a special group of bond,
Yes, sir.
A real close bond with you guys,
Sir.
wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Big time, big time. We share a brotherhood, you know, and that's why, you know, we're still close to the day. We're still in group messages on our phones, and I mean, it gets no closer than us.
So Elliot was the soldier on the Bomb Squad. That sounds like a pretty explosive group to me right there.
Right.
What's it going to be like for these guys in Tuscaloosa? We know what it's like in Baton Rouge. I've had a chance to coach 2 games there from the other sideline, but they get to play this week in Tuscaloosa. Similar type of operation size-wise, but a little different color from purple.
Yeah, big time, big time. You can look at it like that. I mean, it's a game of a lifetime. I figured, you know, every time you play Alabama, it's televised, big time TV. It gets no better than that. You know, you're playing, you know, winning, going to the SEC championship, beating them that year, you know, or playing them in the national championships in the Superdome. I mean, everybody's eyes was on Alabama and LSU, and it's going to be on Alabama and LSU. And I mean, the rivalry is huge. You know, don't let anybody tell you different.
And why does LSU always play well in Tuscaloosa? They always do.
I mean, you know, I guess we like the, you know, the pressure. That's what I'm saying. I guess we like the pressure. I mean, the pressure Coach puts on us, Coach Mouse puts on us. I mean, you got to stay strong, especially in that type of environment. You know, a lot of guys don't realize how loud those environments get. I mean, you have to keep your composure. You have to have poise. I mean, so you know, that's why I know Brandon and the offensive lineman and you know, and the whole LSU team is going to do. Have poise. Take your breath. And take home the win.
And go play. Coach Miles' attitude is always good, best in the big games.
Yes,
the Hatter is always a little bit different, but he can get his troops ready for the big game. That is Elliot Porter of Archbishop Shaw and LSU football. Great center for both institutions. Thank you for being here with us today, Elliot. We will be right back for more Prep Recruiting Insider here at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, right across from the Event Center, the spot for your next big special event. We'll be back.